welcome to another episode of the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition's Small Business Forum. I'm your host, David Dadekian of Eat Drink Rhode Island, a small business here in the state of Rhode Island. And today's guest is Liz Tanner, formerly Secretary of Commerce for the state of Rhode Island, and now heading up a nonprofit in charge of overseeing what's going on. And we're going to find out more about it because I really know very little myself. What's going on during the FIFA events? How's it referred to, Liz? What do we call it? The World
Large
Cup?
International Soccer Tournament.
Okay,
that's how we refer to
Large
it.
International Soccer Tournament. I like that. Welcome. Do I still call you secretary? Is that one of those positions that stays with you for the rest of your life?
Dave, you can call me whatever you want.
Well, it's very nice to see you. It's nice to have you here on the program again. You're a veteran of our forum, and we appreciate that. We really appreciate all the help you give to small business over the years. And now let's talk about this new role. Tell us all about it.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to come on. And thank you to Ben and the crew. I put in the chat. We're getting the band back together. We did this during the pandemic every week for years, and so it's such a pleasure to be back. Ben always does such a fantastic job. So what's going on? We've got this big, huge soccer tournament coming next summer, and it's really going to be a incredible thing. So this is going to be the largest event to ever come to North America, nonetheless New England, nonetheless our region, nonetheless Rhode Island. So they are expecting 2.2 million people to come to New England just for our set of games.
Wow. All right.
Yes. They're expecting about 892,000 of them to be in Rhode Island. So we're looking at nearly doubling our population for next summer.
Yeah, you're right.
So the tournament is a 39-day tournament. However, the games in Rhode Island, the games up at Boston Stadium, because it will not be known as Gillette or Foxborough, it will be known as Boston Stadium. They're actually taking the words Gillette off the side of the stadium.
Yeah, because they're not a sponsor, and of course,
they're not a sponsor.
Has their own sponsors, right?
And so the first games in Boston Stadium are June 13th, the last one being July 9th, which is a quarterfinal. So we know that one will be a really big one. In addition to having everything that's going on for the 250th celebration, it's going to be really just an incredible summer. So for businesses who are in sort of the hospitality industry or can sort of tap into certain things, this is going to be a good summer for you. David, if you don't mind, I'll just go through a couple more stats.
Please. That's why we have you. We want to hear all about this, please.
So just to give you some more of the stats. So that's 7 games that are being played at Boston Stadium. That is the equivalent of 7 Super Bowls being played up there. Wow. The attendance is going to be anywhere between 65 and 72,000 people per game. So it's going to be a challenge traffic-wise. So keeping that in mind, 95 north, 95 south, whichever direction you're coming.
I've been there for Taylor Swift, so that can't be fun.
There you go. So do that 7 times just over a month, right? So what you're looking at seeing here is we think that the international folks will likely be coming into Logan, taking public transportation, staying in Boston. But because there are games in Philadelphia and New York, New Jersey, Boston, and Toronto, we think we're getting the Americans all coming up 95 North who are going to be bopping around to these different locations and spending some time in Rhode Island because we have our beautiful beaches. And in the summer, it's a really incredible place to be. 2 unique things are happening that I think your viewers might be interested in because they might be able to participate in some way. First, it is looking like, fingers crossed, that Bryant College will be named the only base camp in all of New England, which is really a real honor for us to be able to have that. And so as you can imagine with the work they did with that stadium with Rhode Island FC, that it's in good shape and it was very attractive to them. What happens is Bryant then goes into a catalog and then the countries will choose locations to go to. And as you can imagine, being able to practice on a field in New England is a whole lot easier in June than doing it in Texas, right? So we know that it's going to be attractive, particularly for those countries in the northern climates. So if that happens, that can bring another potential 250 to 500,000 people on top of the 892,000. Wow. Really depends on the size of the country, the popularity of it, things like that. So, and we won't know any of this stuff until towards the end of the year because there will be 4 teams that spend a lot of time in our area. Nonetheless, the extra one that might be staying at the base camp. So really just an incredible amount of people coming. So that's a real play, particularly from a cultural standpoint. Depending on what countries we get, I'm hearing a lot of folks saying, I want to do a concert or we'll do some sort of theater or, we'll do something culturally for that team. I'm also hearing about bringing in retired players from that famous team, or things that are specific to the cultures of those countries. The other really cool thing that's happening is from a VIP sort of luxury stage. So what we're hearing is the desire for the attendees to go to these games, because these tickets are not cheap. They are thousands and thousands of dollars for the VIP tickets. Hopefully those tickets that will be going for the lottery, for those of us who were entered into the lottery, are going to be a whole lot more reasonable. But the most expensive seats and the most high profile games are already sold out. And we're trying to host them down in Newport, right? So we are looking to arrange ways for them to land their jets in Quonset, dock their yachts into Newport, and be able to have a Newport experience, and then be able to get themselves up to the game via helicopter or plane or something like that, and really truly give them a VIP experience here in Rhode Island. So all of those things are coming together that your business friends, colleagues, people who are members might be interested in really participating in that in some way. If they want to email me, they can certainly feel free, and I can make those connections based on what it is they're trying to do. But the big thing that's happening right now is there's an application out for nonprofits to be able to apply for hopeful grant dollars to be able to support events that they want to do. So with the extra 900,000 people, we want to make sure they're entertained, right? We want to make sure that their dollars are spent here in Rhode Island. And the way to do that is by having a series of events across the entire state that people can go to. And so whether there are the tourists or whether they're locals, there's going to be lots of events going on. And so if anybody wants to apply for grant funding dollars to host an event, there's that application is out right now, and I will make sure that you have it and can get it out to all of
and we'll link all that information up in the show notes below on YouTube and on the podcast. So yeah, that'd be great to have. And any contact information you want to give us, Liz, for the public, you let us know.
So what we're seeing is the municipalities, nonprofits, arts and cultural organizations, chambers, tourism bureaus, that's who's looking to apply. So for the businesses, you can support those events. What I'm seeing is food truck festivals, musical performances, soccer tournaments, soccer clinics, just a wide variety of events that are happening across the state that are going to be soccer focused. There have been a lot of questions about, are we connecting with the 250th celebration? We are 100%. There are some folks who will be co-branding their events. There'll be a soccer tournament, or soccer face, as well as 250th, so that they can co-brand them to make it interesting to everyone that's coming. And so if anybody has any questions, they should always just feel free to reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to walk you through what we're trying to do. But as I said to the Rhode Island Hospitality Association, and it made it in the Providence Business News, it's going to be one hell of a summer next year. So let's do our best to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Well, I have a bunch of questions for you now. That's a lot to unpack. First of all, let's start by, should we call it football or should we stick with soccer?
You can call me whatever you want. You can call the sport whatever you want.
Great. So as we've seen over the last few years here, you mentioned Brian, and the Rhode Island Football Club. But obviously, the momentum, the excitement for soccer has become much bigger in Rhode Island. It's really quite impressive. So I think, the fans locally certainly want to participate, and the businesses locally. You mentioned coming into the state from abroad and from within the country. I was just thinking, as you were saying, Bryant and places like that, is the Lincoln Airport able to sustain any type of traffic like that?
The Rhode Island Airport? I mean,
the one in Lincoln, the little one. I know the Rhode Island. Yeah, I know Chrissy F. Green does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're not sure. Because there's one in Middletown, and then you have Quonset. I'm learning about the VIP jet experience. Apparently they like to land in Quonset. I did not know that, things that you learn. But we do have a variety of airports around the state, and, ideally they play some role. So I think it really depends on, where these VIP folks are coming from. Are they international guests? Are they Americans? Are they renting? I'm not sure. But it's really exciting to think about Rhode Island playing a role in being able to be the center of that for those folks who are going to Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, and Toronto games.
Absolutely. How about Amtrak? Is there any work with them for transit?
So RIPTA, Department of Transportation, MBTA, Amtrak, everyone's been working together for 6 or 7 months now to talk about not just about transportation, about security as well.
Yeah.
Those working groups are very well led and very well organized, and doing a heck of a job in making sure that those are the things that we're taking care of first and foremost.
Excellent. And does the Rhode Island Football Club have any part of this, or is it because it's in their season, so maybe they're too busy to actually open up the stadium to people?
So we have been talking to them vociferously about trying to figure out what to do. They will still be having games. Their regular season is happening. So it's a matter of them finding out what those dates are so that they can then figure out what they'll do in between. But I think you'll see some cultural events happen there. I think, clearly some soccer events focused there. The games that they'll have will be well attended. But I think, they're also looking at a wide variety of ways to make sure that those who are local really understand what role Rhode Island FC can play and gain more and more fans for their team.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm sure Don Mayor Grebian must be thrilled. he's had a rough year, so I hope this helps out Pawtucket a lot because
there are many municipalities who are looking at doing a variety of events, and some of them who have their regular events are saying, you know what, for the summer, we'll pivot it and we'll make it a soccer focused event that we normally have. This is all under one brand of Ocean State 2026 Summer of Soccer, to be sponsored by, to be determined, right? And so we're still there working on those sponsorships, but the businesses have been very enthusiastic about wanting to put dollars in, hence that application that's out right now, so that we can say to them, here's the events that you would be helping us to fund.
And you said the application was for nonprofits only?
It would be mostly nonprofits, right? Because this is, in theory, a relationship where you're trying to have people come in, because that's usually who has these events. It would be interesting to think about somebody who wants to do something with a for-profit situation. Again, I'm happy to have a conversation to try and hear what the potential might be.
Okay. I'm assuming, nonprofits, I'm thinking tourism boards and things of that nature will be able to. Yeah. So, small businesses out there, connect with your tourism boards around Rhode Island. Obviously, the big ones are, Go Providence, but South Counties, I'm assuming, would be huge at that time of year. And there's others too out there. So make sure you check with those. So, all right. So let's think about a not neglected, but a not as busy part of the state, certainly the northwest corner, using Bryant and having that type of a focus up there. How do you feel about the hotels in that area? I know there are a bunch up there, but is it they're already getting ready and ramping up and trying to clean the rooms and, and redesign and all that?
So I can tell you that with that many people coming to our area, there are not enough hotel rooms for all of them, period. There aren't in Boston either, so that whole region, we do not have enough people. So you are going to see a lot of home rentals. That's just the way it's going to end up.
All right.
Matter of fact, I have my first conversation with Airbnb next week to kind of talk to them about,
that was going to be my follow-up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't talked to them yet, but we're excited. It does look like, I've seen in the news that Airbnb and FIFA are trying to connect with each other in some way. So my first conversation with them next week, and we'll see how that goes. But I do think you'll see a lot of that. But as far as the hotels, we have been working very closely with Rhode Island Hospitality Association. They have been a great partner. They will be offering training for the hospitality industry, both hotels, both restaurants, both retail, so that they understand what's about to happen, right? The fact that they will be absolutely slammed, particularly during that 30, 40-day period next summer. We're also talking about ways to train and to make sure that folks understand a little bit about human trafficking, which is a serious issue in the hospitality industry, as well as understanding tipping cultures of the countries that will be spending time here. And so, we're really hoping to get that word out so that everybody can understand that you're going to have a large influx of people who may not necessarily have the same tipping culture than we're used to, and trying to educate them on that. So yes, those things are starting to happen with them as well.
Absolutely true. Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. I'm sure Farouk and his team are great partners. He's been really great to have heading up hospitality over the last couple of years, and hopefully for many more years. Okay, so I'm going back to the amount of people, the cars, the traffic, the transportation, all of that. How do you handle that type of influx? And what is there going to be busing or shuttles or something like that to help? And what are we looking at there? Because I'm thinking a lot of, my friend Ken, he owns a valet service, but they do other things. And I mean, certainly there'd be opportunities for small business in that realm. Yes.
So that is being worked out right now, the transportation. We do know that there will be a train that goes back and forth, but there are limitations to that train because, Foxborough is not a big train location necessarily. It only is certain times of the year. So that's being worked on, but certainly buses. And so we know that the buses will need to be going up there, but we we're still trying to hammer out what does that look like, how much are the costs, how do those costs get taken care of, and so all of that is still in motion.
Okay. And yeah, then you mentioned Newport. I mean, that the bridge is always a concern, in my opinion. The bridge is here. I don't want to go down that road, but I hope that there's some ability to get people back for maybe ferries and things of that nature in other ways too, because it should be a huge destination, I would hope.
Oh, we know for sure, especially in June, and that's a great time for Newport as well. That's not their very high season. July and August is their high season.
Yeah, right.
So to be able to have a ton of extra people in June will be a real blessing for them as well. Something to point out is this tournament will start when many schools are still in session, in June. And so we're really excited about the youth opportunities that might be available. We expect a lot of soccer clinics, a lot of soccer tournaments, and our friends at the Rhode Island Sports Commission have been leading that effort to really figure out how we can make sure youth soccer really builds significantly during this tournament. And Jonathan Walker's over there, also Kristen Adamo and her gang over at the Providence Convention Bureau. They have been great partners, as well as Rhode Island Commerce, so many of the chambers, the tourism bureaus. Everybody's just been working so well together to really realize that this is, again, the biggest event to ever come our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you've got all your knowledge from running commerce must come in handy here. It's great. We sad to have you leave, but I think this is an amazing opportunity. So thankful for you there. Okay, so you mentioned Rhode Island's 250th. For those of you who don't know, that's next year. That's 2026. You said there'll be some combined efforts, things of that nature. Are you involved with the 2026 as well, or are you really this is enough on your plate for right now with FIFA?
This is enough on my plate for right now. But I have talked with the Secretary of State's office and some of the leaders of that effort. It's very similar to what we're doing. It's just that it's a different focus, right? So we're very much a soccer focus. They're looking at from a historical perspective, and they've been working for a long time to create a series of events across the state over the course of a year, not just over the summer, not just on the 4th of July, but to have a series of events across the entire state. I think they're trying to make sure something happens in every one of our towns and cities across the state. And so they've done a really good job of making that a priority because there is a big celebration. I mean, it only happens once, right? And so we're really excited to be able to see the wide variety of events that are happening there. And if we can in some way combine them with a soccer event, then hey, let's try to do that. Everybody's so creative to hear, to come up with all these wonderful ideas. It's just been amazing to think about what the possibilities are. And so people are really excited about that. And I've never been the creative person, so I let them come up with all the creative stuff. I just tell them, hopefully I can try to fund what the creative ideas they're coming up with.
That's the extraordinarily important part. Let's keep that in mind. Funding has always been an issue around here, and to be able to fund this would be great. How is the nonprofit that you're overseeing funded? What do people need to know about that?
I mean, so essentially, it's the business sponsorship arm. There are probably 20, 30 people across the state in both government, for-profit, nonprofit, and a little bit of everything trying to work on this. And again, have been for a very long time. And so what I do is very much focused on business sponsorships. But again, we work very closely, particularly with the Providence Convention Bureau and Adventures to really do the marketing for it. And so we've actually just launched a video. We're now out on social media. The Treasurer's Office has also put out a press release. So there's a wide variety of people doing a lot of activities to make sure it all comes together smoothly.
Excellent. Well, I mean, if there's sponsorship opportunities for small businesses, that would be great to hear, or medium-sized businesses. We could certainly share that information. I'm sure that corporate sponsorships are really what you're looking for, the large dollars. But I think if there's opportunities, that would be very interesting to see. Especially, I think in the local, like you said, in all the cities and towns. I know you said about the 250th, but I think also if there's people Airbnb-ing, they're going to be in those cities and towns too. And I think there should be, even if you think your small businesses and Exeter or Richmond or something like that, and you think, this may not be for you, I would, if that's money people are coming, I think that should be an opportunity for everybody.
I will say that what I'm hearing is there's real interest in the small businesses in doing the hyper local, to your point, that this is my community,
right?
Particularly with the youth soccer, right? Because there's real opportunity there. There's volume there. You've got the kids and the parents. So there's real opportunity there. So again, if you're a small business and you're looking to do a business sponsorship, particularly for youth soccer, I would reach out to your local youth soccer organization because they will likely be trying to do something next summer that you could be a part of.
Great idea. Fantastic. Yeah. My daughters are dancers, but my oldest boyfriend is a soccer star in Coventry High. So Uh, hopefully, we'll see what was going on there. Clearly, of course, if you're in the restaurants and tourism side of things, this is the key, I think, for you and your business. But I think there should be a lot of opportunity for other small businesses as well. I mean, maybe not accountants and things like that, but I think this sounds just like an amazing opportunity for lots of different businesses.
Well, I think the hospitality for sure, but your coffee shops, they're going to be mobbed with
Right.
all these extra folks
Yep.
being in here. Your grocery in particular is going to be hit very hard. The beaches, we know they're going to be busy, but we're also hearing a lot about a desire to absorb the local culture, right? So you've got people coming from all around the world coming to Rhode Island. They want to see what Rhode Island's about too.
Sure.
So we're really hoping to play up on our high end culture that we have, all the theaters and other musical productions that we have as well.
Excellent point. Yeah, not just Trinity, but there's a lot of different theaters around the state and museums as well. Yeah, great opportunities, I think, for a lot of these places.
Yeah.
Oh, it all sounds fantastic, Liz. We really appreciate your time today. Is there anything else you wanted to add? We covered a lot of stuff there. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, just to say that if you are a small business and you are looking to do a sponsorship, please reach out to your local youth soccer organization. If you are a larger business and you would like to have a business sponsorship with us, we'd certainly love to work with you. We can hopefully show you soon. We're looking at the first week of October is that application deadline, so we can show you the series of events that are going to be happening across the state. Okay. And once we have them, of course, we're going to be promoting them. So I'd love to come back, Dave, at some point and talk about what's going to happen when we're a little further along.
Yeah, that would be great. It would be great to have you back to hear what's going on. That date's coming up soon. So please, when you get a chance, send all the info over so we can link it up for people. And thanks again for your time today. We really appreciate. It's always nice to talk with you, Liz. So thank you for being here and for doing everything you do.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Take care. All right, that was a packed episode. I really enjoyed talking to Liz there today, and I hope you learned a lot about what's coming up. Stay tuned. Definitely check the links down there, or if you're on the podcast, check the show notes for all the information. As always, if you're on YouTube, the like, subscribe, the thing everyone says. But hey, we're going to say it too. And our website is risbc.org. If you'd like to be more involved with the coalition, please check out risbc.org. And until the next episode, thank you very much for watching. Take care.